Hey guys, Jeff Joyner coming to you from San Francisco, California, where I've been out here for a couple days doing some training. Had two training events out here, a couple hours, maybe 3 hours south of here, Fresno area, and got a chance for the first time to drive a Tesla. You know, I rent a lot of cars, and when you pull into when you land at the airport, you get an email that says, "Hey, your car's waiting for you in, row C, space number 10, whatever." And it's usually, a Chevy Malibu or a Toyota Camry. This time it said it's a Tesla. And I said, I've always kind of wanted to drive one. Don't have the foggiest idea how to do it, how to handle it. And so I was a little intimidated by it. I've been driving this for 3 days, and I'm going to tell you about my experience. So, I kind of got mixed feelings about driving an electric car. I think it's cool. I think it's kind of the future. It's kind of Jetsons. What I don't like about them is I think there's a trade-off, right? You're doing less CO2 emissions for sure when you have electric cars, but they also have slave labor around the world that is digging up the cobalt and lithium needed for these batteries. That's not a great thing. Many of you know that I think that's the biggest problem facing the world today, the biggest social issue. 49 million people living in slavery, more than any point in history, far more than during the Civil War. And so the fact that slaves are needed to make this car or are being used for that, not a great thing. There's also, I think, an environmental concern about how you can dispose of all these batteries. There's some logistical challenges that I don't think our electrical grid in America is ready for a huge influx of these cars and trucks. But I'm going to focus on this quick video on what I thought about driving it, right? Those other issues are different. I'd say the thing about driving this that blew me away was the acceleration. It's astonishing that when you hit the gas, so to speak, which isn't really the gas, it just takes off and blew me away. It's very, very fun to drive. I really enjoyed driving it a lot. It was a blast to drive. Handled well. I thought the controls were cool. It took me a little bit to figure out how to charge. Like, where do you plug this in? Where's the plug? And I had to pull into a charging station and see where other people were plugging in. I was like, oh, you push the tail light and it pops open and the charger's in there. That's pretty awesome. I drove about 400 miles around Northern California in the last few days, and so I had to charge it a few times. I think I spent a total of about $30 charging it. Tesla, I think, says that the average average owner spends $500 a year. And there's no other maintenance, right? You're not paying for oil changes. And so I think you're actually saving money there. This one is the Model 3 that I was driving, which I think retails for about $55,000, which is not that much more than what I just paid for my Kia K5 GT that I drive at home that I really like. And so I could see myself driving one of these. It's a change in planning for sure, right? Because if you're going on a long trip, you got to stop. And it took me 25 minutes. I charged 3 different times. Found Tesla superchargers, which I think are pretty plentiful here in California. And so I think it depends on where you live too, if you'd have a lot of those in your town. But I don't take a lot of long trips. When I go on long trips, I usually fly. And so I could see myself plugging this in every night when I come home. And so, gotta say, my overall reaction is, I liked it. I'd go so far as to say, I kind of loved it. I love driving it. If you own one of these, I'd love to hear an owner's reaction. And so make a comment down below if you own one of these. Let me know pros and cons, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. And, you might be seeing one of these in my driveway soon. I don't know. My wife doesn't want me to get one because she's heard the stories about some of them catching fire and burning people's houses down. That would not be good if that happened. But I think that's probably a relatively rare thing. So anyway, off to the San Francisco airport, catching a flight to Mississippi to speak at an event there. And then on my way from there to Frisco, Texas, and then Dallas, and then Houston, and then Logan, Utah, and then Corpus Christi, and then back here to San Francisco. And then from there off to Michigan and Iowa and Connecticut and Maine, and I'm going to be in 35 cities over the next 7 weeks. So maybe I'll be in a city near you and we can catch up. But anyway, that's my reaction. I really enjoyed driving. It's a lot of fun. The braking, by the way, took a little getting used to. I forget what they call it, regenerative braking, something. But you know, when you take your foot off the gas, it starts to brake, and so you don't even really need the brakes as much. And so I imagine you need less brakes, less work on the brakes over time. Someone did tell me that you got to rotate the tires every 6,000 miles, but I think you got to do that with just about any car. So anyway, over and out. Just thought I'd give you guys my reaction on driving a Tesla.